So once again, warm-up 73, read sketch a box plot, check for outliers. They give us 23, 9, 1, 5, 3, 7, 2, 6, 2, 3, 23, Michael Jordan, and 4. So these should be pretty much automatic. You should know your formulas for outliers since we just took a pop party on formulas. Okay. Yes, Mr. Q. All right, good. Give some time. All right, so the box plot, that's cake. So small outlier and large outlier. Let's see, Peyton, what you get for the small outlier? What is it? 13.5, close. Lenny, what'd you get? What's that? Yeah, the large. What was the large? Yeah, 23 is a large. So when you compute it for the large outlier, you should have gotten the number 18. Anything beyond the number 18 is an outlier, so 23 was the outlier. And once you computed the small outlier, what'd you get for small outlier, Jaden? Very good. -6, yes. Anything below -6 should be an outlier. Is there anything below -6 in this data? No. So the only outlier was 23. And of course, because he stands out. Let's go. Copy copy the agenda. Warm-up number 73, intro to probability. Excuse me. Today we're going to be done with the introduction portion of probability. I've been trying to smooth it out as much as possible. And today we're going to cover a lot of terminology, so flex your wrist so you can have plenty of flexibility in writing. Also flex your eyes because we're going to be reading a couple pages, well, handful of pages. And yeah, tonight's home plate 4-1 exercises, numbers 1 through 14. So in your textbook at home, you're going to go to session 4-1, also known as the introduction to probability. You go to the end of that lesson, and you're going to do problems or exercises 1 through 14 only. Okay? Yes, Mr. Q. All right. And you already sent me your warm-up in, yes? Once again, warm-up 73 done, intro to probability, and home plate for tonight, 4-1, exercises 1 through 14. All right, copy this code for today's session in case you fall behind, because we're going to go a little expeditiously through this session. How about that word, expeditiously? Pretty good, right? Let's go. So Y, K, R, N, Q, Y, K, R, N, Q. That should give you access to the session. And for those of you that are following on YouTube, once again, you should be able to log into Nearpod using that code. And make sure you put your AirPods away, and your cell phones at this time, please. Like I said, I want you guys focused. We're going to finish this introductory portion. All right? So, reminder also, formulas. Those of you that needed to retake the formulas, it's today and tomorrow during the advisor period, so make sure you come see me if you need to do that. All right, here we go. I can identify and compute basic probability. Get a Cornell note going, please. And we're moving on. I can identify and compute basic probability. Basic probability. So as we started last week, we did an activity in pairs and triads with those dice. Remember that? Yes? And then from there, the following session, we put that into a systematic way of approaching that probability, and we used a two-way table and recorded like all the possible outcomes, and we were given a formula. Is that correct? Yes? But before I move on, remind your neighbor of the definition for probability. What is the definition for probability? Definition for probability without looking at your notes. Definition. All right, good communication. Areli, definition. Very good. A chance of an event occurring. Very good. The chance of an event occurring. You already have these notes. You don't need them. But you do need to copy this next diagram, because we're going to move into now the different areas of probability, and it looks like this. Probability has classical, empirical, and subjective probability. So copy this diagram, please. Probability has classical, empirical, and subjective. I already gave you an introduction to classical, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Copy that. I'll give you some time. All right. So once again, we're looking at three different types of probability: classical, empirical, and subjective. So when I gave you the simple introduction to probability, we were talking about classical probability, which was pretty basic, right? Do you guys agree that it was pretty basic, the introduction to probability? Yes, Mr. Q. All right. So therefore, on your paper, write classical underneath that diagram. And the formula for classical probability, you already have it, but write it once again so that you know that that belongs to that. P of E equals N of E over N of S. That was an example of classical probability. Classical probability is P of E equals N of E over N of S. And remember, we did those couple examples with the die and then the spinners, yes? Yes, Mr. Q. All right, good. So that's an example of classical. So today, we're going to start moving in the direction of empirical probability. So underneath that, I want you to write empirical. And we're going to get more into examples and applications of that tomorrow. But today, you're going to be doing a research, and I included the play sheet in this presentation. I'll move it over in a little bit. But write down empirical, so you're going to look for the formula for empirical probability. Next, copy these terms, please. Leave a couple of lines for definitions. We got some terminology that we need to get through. So probability experiment, what is that? Leave a couple of lines. Outcome, sample space, event, equally likely events, and complement of an event. So that's some terminology that we need to get through. Let me send that to your screen. Also, after that, you're going to write rules. Probability rule number 1, skip 2 lines. Probability rule number 2, skip 2 lines. And probability rule number 3, skip 2 lines. Probability rule number 4, skip 2 lines. Okay? So, I'll give you some time to write those down. All right, so it looks like you already have all the terminology written down. So I'm going to move your screen to the PDF document that you're going to be reading. Here it goes. Look at your screen. It's 4-1. It's all the terminology, and I want you to do a scavenger hunt. And if you want to team up with someone, that's fine. So you're looking for the formula for empirical probability, and you're going to give me definitions for all the terms, including the probability rules 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to give you guys some time to read that. It's about a 10-page read. So I'm kind of like transitioning you to maybe some college work. This is how it's going to be working when you get to college level. They give you an assignment. They start by giving you definitions, which you can do on your own, and then the application portion comes after. So I'll give you some time for that. Then I'll check up on you in a little bit, and then I'm going to send you a screen so you can send me what you have so far. All right? I'll give you some time and go. All right, so once again, you are finishing up finding the empirical formula. terminology that we need, and tomorrow we're going to get into the application of all these, okay? So I'm going to give you guys some more time to finish up. I'm going to stop the video at this time. Once again, those of you that are following along on YouTube, just make sure you have all your terminology done before we get to the next session. All right? Talk to you later. Bye.